Hello folks, greetings from the allotment on a very chilly morning, approximately -5 here in Leicestershire.
Yes, it's jolly cold.
Not quite as, doesn't feel quite as cold as yesterday, but it's nearly there. So we've got Nigel with me here. If you can remember, well, you've not seen this top bit very often, but this plot, what Nigel's got his apple trees on.
Yeah, this is the one that Julie's numbered number 5.
Yes, it was actually his first one, but it's not officially Nigel's. He's looking after it for an ill person.
Yeah, and this one ultimately will be the one which I do dispose of first.
Yeah, yeah. Hence why I labelled it up 5, thinking maybe you wouldn't get any more plots, but you know.
Yeah, right. You can see everything is frosted over. It's much too cold to get the spade in. You can't really dig today, though it was okay yesterday in the sunshine, once the sun had been on the ground a couple of hours. I did some digging on the plot over there. What is it? What do we call that?
You're actually then very lucky, because even at midday it was still -1.
Yeah, I went up about, what would it be, 2:30, and the sun had been on it for a couple of hours, because it's very clear, although it was cold, and it was pleasant. Right. I actually started overheating whilst I was digging, so that was quite good. And it did an hour.
I'm certainly not overheating at the minute.
Right, so what have we got here? We've got a number of empty beds now. We've got some leeks in here.
Okay.
There are a few brassica plants over there, which I'm going to uncover shortly. And strawberry bed there, and a new strawberry bed over there. But not really very much in the ground other than that.
Nigel's basically been just keeping this plot under control for the person who's ill, and hence there's not really been much activity. It's just a matter of stopping it from getting like, well, I was going to aim, but the plot seemed quite reasonable. Well, kind of like that, yeah. Yeah, stop it from looking a mess.
Yeah, I didn't want to do too much because the person whose plot this is, I thought that she was probably going to come up and do a fair bit herself.
Yeah.
But that's looking a little bit less likely now.
Yeah, yeah. That's basically what's happening here, folks. We're not sure what you're going to do next year. You're probably going to grow a few veg for the person, aren't you?
I think so, yes.
Pass them on
potatoes
to
would be good, and the leeks, of course, they'll be yours.
Yeah. And I see you've got your bean things. Is that ready for next year already, or is it still left from last year?
Left from last year, but the structure is still strong, so I'll leave that for next year.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
And if you look, it's interesting, folks, if you look how he's done that, he's actually got some pieces of wood reinforced that going in with the canes.
Yeah, it's very strong. I've never had a structure like this blow over. You put some nice 1.5-inch square stakes in, sharpened at one end, just hammer them in.
And how far in are they knocked in?
About 9 inches to 12 inches, so they're fairly solid.
Yeah.
And then you just put canes on, get some black tape, put it round so the tape goes to itself, and that will last 2 or 3 years. It's very strong, much stronger than string.
Right. Yeah, great. Is this reinforcements for the break-ins what we're getting?
Well, no, what was happening, this shed was a little bit drunk. It was leaning at an angle of about 20 degrees, and there was so much stuff stored in it that I couldn't do a repair from inside because it wasn't my stuff.
Right.
I couldn't empty it, so I had to just reinforce the outside.
Right.
So I pushed the shed back with fence posts and propped it, and then whilst it was in position, I put these reinforcing bars in, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And I re-felted the roof.
Yeah.
You can see the apple trees are all frosty now. But it might be interesting to see if you can get some close-ups of a few of the leaves. They can look quite good in the sunlight.
I've got to make sure. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Look at that, folks.
Oh, and there's some nice ones here. Look. You can see all the ice crystals on the leaves. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I took the last apples off these trees apart from one variety 2 nights ago because of the frost forecast. Most of the apples I have can stand about they can stay reasonable down to about -2 centigrade. That's about 28F. But if you go much lower than that, they start to go pulpy when they defrost. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
These are going to have to be pruned at some point because we've got to keep them down to 2.5 metres. And they do want pruning in any case, so that the fruit forms low down.
Yeah. So we're still looking at 8 feet, 8.5 feet. High.
Yeah.
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 I shan't prune them now until after February because I need the shoots, the young wood, for grafting
Okay.
classes, which I do.
And talking about grafting, folks, I'm going on one of Nigel's grafting ones in February.
Oh yes, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've run the course twice, and we have 8 students in each class, and I think we've got a couple of places left.
Yeah.
But they're filling up rapidly.
Ah, you've still got a few apples on this tree, Nigel.
Yeah, now this one I've left on deliberately because it's a special apple that I think it will stand temperatures down to about -5, and it's not ready to pick until about the last week in December. It's what we call the Burford Yellow. It's very concentrated in sugar, and it ripens right through until late December. The apples still swell in that month.
Yeah, it's amazing. Before I knew you, Nigel, I thought it was beginning of September was the latest for all apples. Yeah, so
I picked some of these last
nice.
week, and they're not ready, and they're still ripening. But
Yeah.
they taste quite good, and they're very dense and not really very juicy. The sugar level in the little bit of juice that there is very high.
Okay.
And that's why they can stand more frost.
Yeah. Oh, while we're talking about apples, folks, remember we crossed some apples with my Braeburn? Well, we have managed to get, what was it 6 or 7 apples?
Well, I had another look this morning, and I found another 3.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so we've got 9.
We've got 9 apples.
So we should have probably
potentially 54 new trees.
Yeah. Perhaps if we're lucky,
Now,
50 odd seedlings.
we may be able to grow those, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those are going to be any good. You know, there might be a percentage of those which...
Yeah, so what we will do is probably germinate all of them, and then try and choose the best looking seedlings early on.
Yeah.
And probably keep, how many? I don't know, a dozen, something like that.
Yeah.
And then gradually select those down to 1 or 2 by the end of the year.
Okay. Do you ever try to sell any of these surplus ones? Could that be a possibility? Would any of you YouTube viewers be interested if Nigel says?
I don't know yet.
It could be a way of helping out our gardening projects, isn't it?
Yes, it could be. I'm going
rather than dump them.
I'm producing probably 200 seedlings a year now, and rapidly, 5 years, that's 1,000 seedlings, and I won't want to grow all of them.
No.
Or keep all of them. So there will be quite a few for disposal, but what I'm actually going to do with them, I don't know yet.
Okay.
I've got to give that a bit of thought.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to supply apple trees to people who are then disappointed that there's something peculiar about the apples and they don't like them.
Yeah. Got you. And of course it's a 7-year cycle, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. But there will be quite a large number of trees to dispose of, as you say.
Right.
That's pretty, isn't it? Look at that one.
I know. But all those arty ones out there, folks, and the more I'm reading my comments, especially on my emotional video, I'm realising that there's a lot of people who are into gardening as well as art who are suffering with depression and similar, and also in caring roles. It's quite surprising. Did you read that, Nigel? Have you read any of the comments?
Yes, I have. In fact, I think this carer's garden, when we actually get it up and running, is going to be really quite valuable.
Yeah.
But it's taking
There's a lot more red tape and paperwork, procedures and what have you.
Yes, and
than
most
when
of
we
these
realised.
procedures and red tape are very important, because you're talking about things like assessing risk,
Yeah,
making
health and
sure-
safety.
health and safety, making sure that the people that you're taking on are going to act responsibly.
And then we don't
don't
discriminate.
discriminate.
Yeah,
So it's important to get this right.
yeah, yeah. Anything else, Nigel?
I don't think there's anything more at the
No.
moment.
I see you've got all your manure nicely piled up.
Oh yes, that'll be heating up, I suppose, or keeping fairly warm. And
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be good.
Now, would that give out heat around it?
Yeah.
It would.
Yes. You may find on the adjacent bed that instead of getting down to -5, it only gets down to say -3.
Right. Okay. It's interesting. Okay then, folks. That's it for this little video. Thanks again for watching. And and let me just say thank you for everyone for all the comments. I have been gradually trying to get through some of them. I'm not going to catch up, but I'm certainly trying my best. But they've all been read and very much appreciated.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
again.
true.
Bye.